Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala rasulillah. I'm gonna demonstrate for you the whole concept of social media. Come over here. Okay, and come over here. Now, which one of you would like to be the girl? All right, cool. You're gonna be the girl. Social media is like a conversation between a guy and a girl. All right. The girl says to the guy, she says, "Enough about me. Let's talk about you. What do you think of me?" Okay, that's social media. It's all about conversation. It's about caring for people. Why do you have friends? You have friends because they listen to what you have to say, right? No? Yes?
Yes.
Shake your heads this way, that way. Come on. So, the whole idea here is, why do you go online? Why do you interact with people? Because they will respond back, right? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, cool. You guys take a seat. That's what social media is. It's all about interacting with people. It's about caring with people. I want to start a discussion on three things. The first elements that we're going to talk about is the mindset. What is social media? And I'm going to take you guys back before Facebook started up. And it might light up a few light bulbs when I mention some of the other things that we had in the past. Tribes. What are tribes? And basically, how many feathers do you carry? In Native Americans, you're given a feather based on how high in leadership you are in certain tribes. Not all of them, not all Native Americans are the same, just for the record. And the third part basically is, word of mouth is huge. Conversation, who's talking, how do you get them talking, and what are they talking about? And finally, after that, we're going to do a brainstorm. So, starting off with the mindset. What is social media? Do you guys remember when Facebook first started? Not when everybody was on it, but when it first started back in 2005. Yeah? Okay, cool. Since you said yes, what were the elements of that attracted you to it?
I got on it about 2 years later, but
Okay.
I knew there was such thing as Facebook.
Okay, so what attracted you to it?
Everybody else had one.
What?
Everybody else had one.
Okay, everybody else had a Facebook, all right? What are the, do you still spend time on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay, what is it that you spend time doing?
I just go on, see if, I don't know, I really don't spend that much time on it. Chat with a couple of friends, that's about it.
Okay, so you chat with a couple friends. Okay, cool. Who else here who doesn't have a Facebook? By a show of hands. You don't have Facebook. Now, you three guys that don't have Facebook, is it on purpose or you just didn't get around to it?
I didn't get around to it.
Okay, you didn't get around to it. What about you?
I think it's a waste of time.
You think it's a waste of time, okay? Ann?
I made mine, then deactivated it 10 minutes later.
Okay. So, I'm gonna pick on you guys throughout the workshop, if that's okay. I ask your permission to do that. Is it all right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Waste of time. How?
Because I wouldn't use it if I had it anyway, so there's no point of making one.
Okay, you wouldn't use that at all. All right, cool. Do you have friends? Okay, cool. How do you interact with them normally?
I call them or they text me and
Okay,
something like that.
so you have a cell phone.
Yeah.
Okay, is it a smartphone or a dumb phone?
Yeah, it's a smartphone, but I don't use internet on it, so it's like.
Okay, cool. What about you? Do you have friends?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you hang out? How do you spend time with them?
I mostly text, never hang out with them, and just hang out with them.
Okay, so when you hang out with friends, what do you guys do normally?
From each other.
Make fun of each other. Okay, cool. Now, those of you guys that are on Facebook, Rizwan.
Yeah.
All right. In a given day, how often do you get on Facebook?
Twice.
Twice a day.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. In those 2 times a day, what is it that you do specifically?
I have a hadith from Dras and the hadith too, and the other time just for fun, checking out,
Okay. And in the fun factor, what is it that you're doing?
running on people's walls or.
Okay, you're writing on people's walls. What else? What else do you guys do?
Send messages.
You send messages. What kind of messages?
What's up? What's going on? How's life?
Okay, kind of like a text message on the cell phone, right?
Yeah, you can send.
All right, cool. What is social media? When I ask you social media, what is it? What comes to your mind?
Stuff that brings people together, like online and stuff. Like,
Okay, it brings people together. Great. Rizwan.
Online marketing.
Online marketing. When do you think social media, although you're not on Facebook, do you go on YouTube? Okay, so you're on the internet, right? Okay, so when I say social media, and ask you, what is it? Somebody asks you, somebody from the jungles of the Amazon, just learned English, and he asks you, what is social media? What would you tell him? What would you say social media is?
A way to connect different people.
A way to connect with different people. Okay. Any of the sisters, do you guys know what social media is? Or if somebody asks you, what would you say it is? Okay, they don't. Okay, what is
A good way to kill time.
a way to kill time? Okay, you're on the internet, right? You're on YouTube. You visit websites. You know of Facebook, right? So what is social media?
A way to communicate.
A way to communicate. How many of you feel good if you send a text message out to somebody and they actually respond back? Right? Somewhat? Okay, cool. Now, if Tom Cruise got on TV and mentioned your name, and he said, this guy's using, if Rizwan or any of you guys, he said, mention your name. He says, Samir is a cool guy, I like him. Okay? How cool would you be feeling? If Matt Damon, okay, Matt Damon says Samir is a cool guy, you would feel good, right? Okay. And the reason is because, like, oh, he thinks about me, right? He feels good about me. That's what the whole idea is. That's what attracts people. That what brings people together. That's society. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about this concept where everybody is trying to gain people's pleasure. Thing is, we spend the first third of our lives really worrying about what other people are thinking about us. Then people reach a point where they're at midlife crisis and they just stop caring. And they don't care about anybody and nobody cares about them. And then when they get older, they realize nobody cared about them in the first place. And the fact is, everybody is worried about what other people are thinking of them. And when somebody shows that they care, they automatically drive towards that individual. On Twitter, how many of you have heard of Twitter? Twitter has millions of followers, okay? And some of those followers, people who are on it, if Matt Damon were to get on Twitter and mention Samir and a couple other people, you guys would be totally ecstatic. And you try to tell everybody, tell all your friends, Matt Damon mentioned me. I'm so cool. Okay? But the whole thing is here is, the reason you're doing that is because you feel so connected. Right? Okay. That is the whole concept of social media. I just want to get that into your minds. With that understanding, we naturally move to the concept of tribes. Okay? How many feathers are you holding up? Feathers, I'm using that as an analogy for influence. What is influence? How many people can they get to do stuff, right? If somebody says stand up, how many of them stand up? Why do you think they get celebrities to go on TV and say stuff? Because people follow them. They have a lot of influence. And that's the whole idea. You need the whole concept of tribes is that people gather around elements or personalities of influence, right? Back in the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who were the individuals that had influence? No, well, actually the Sahaba were the poor people initially, right? Who were the people that had influence? Okay, who were they? Give me some names. At the time when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam got on top of the hill and told people that, there's an army behind me. Who was the first person to actually speak out? Abu Lahab. Was he a person of influence or not? He said, may you perish because you brought us out here for whatever reason, and everybody followed suit. Was he somebody that could get people to do stuff, right? Was the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ somebody of influence? Yeah? All right, cool. Now that this is back in the day, a lot of times people would influence. Now the thing is, today, we are tribes, right? Are we not? In what ways can you think of us as tribes? Anybody have an iPhone? Let me see your iPhone. Here's an iPhone. How many people will gather around the concept of an iPhone and say all of the phones suck? Okay, there. This is an element of influence, technology. On the internet, just get on the internet. Think about all the things that people just gather around. Xbox versus PS3 versus We. We got tribes around brands. We got tribes around technologies. We've got tribes around maybe ideas, okay, ideologies. What are some ideological tribes that are on the internet that go at each other right now in our communities? Sufi versus Salafi, right? Okay. You got Shia versus Sunni, right? So I mean, among MSAs, we all know, very prominent issues that come up like that. It's tribes. So, I want you to throw out as many tribes as you can think of right now. Windows versus Mac, Democrats
Black and white.
versus Republicans, Honda versus Toyota versus Nissan, right? Lexus versus Infiniti versus Acura, Mercedes versus BMW. People gather around these things because NJIT versus Rutgers. There you go. What? Giants versus the Eagles. These are all tribes. Just trying to get it out there. Now, I want to ask you this question. Before I ask you the question, your first step to actually being able to effectively reach people, effectively get people to do stuff, influence them, you need to understand who are the leaders of these tribes. I mean, when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was doing the da'wah, who did he speak to? I know he spoke to leaders. Who were the leaders? Abu Sufyan, Abu Lahab, Abu Jahl. Similarly, in today's time and day, actually even before that, when Rasulullah ﷺ sent the Sahabi to Medina before the immigration happened, when the hijrah happened to Medina, he told them to speak to the leaders. He gave specific names for individuals. He said, if these people become Muslim, then you'll be able to do your da'wah easy. And at the end of the day, when those people became Muslim, there was not a home in Medina that didn't have a Muslim. So, with that understanding, if you want to be able to, if you're a Mac activist, okay, and you love your iPhone so much, okay, and you want to bring and you want to bring people to be iPhone fanatics like yourself, the best way to do that is simply talk to somebody who's getting a Droid or is considering a Droid from Verizon and tell them iPhone is so much better. Okay? And if he's a leader and a lot of people consider what he's saying, then that's the individual that you want to talk to. That's why they get people like Tiger Woods to wear that Nike stuff, because a lot of people follow Tiger Woods and they figure if he's wearing the Nike stuff, a lot of people are going to buy Nike stuff. That's why Michael Jordan's got the Jordan brand, because a lot of people want to be like Mike, right? So let me ask you this: this is going to be, the more you guys participate with me, the more you'll be able to get out of this. For your MSA, what within the college network, okay, and without the college network, outside of it, what are the different tribes that you can identify right now? Well, we got clubs, don't we?
Yeah,
so we have ethnic clubs,
right.
Correct? Can name a few. Name the top ethnic clubs, the top 2 or top 3. MSA is an ethnic club?
Oh wait.
Unless you're all Indian, which I see a couple of non-Indian looking people here. So I wouldn't say it's an ethnic club. So what are the ethnic clubs that you have at Rutgers right now? Okay, Pakistani Student Association. Okay, what else?
Indian Student Association.
Palestinian Student Association. All right, what else? You guys have an African Student Association? Okay, are these the top 2, the Pakistani and Palestinian? These are the most, these are the ones that a lot of people go to their events? Think of it from a campus perspective. Who are the most influential clubs on campus? Let's move on. What other types of clubs are there? Frats, right? Is that what you said? Somebody? Okay, frats. Who are the top 3 frats? The top 3, the most influential, the one that totally just blows everyone else away.
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Would it make sense for you guys to get to know them? Right? Would it make sense for you to get to know the ones that have the most influence? Because if you can get them to do stuff, then you can get a whole lot of people to do stuff, right? Okay? What about sororities? Guys, you know the frats, sisters, sororities. How many sororities that are out there that are very active and influential? How many of you, can you name a couple? The top 2? No? Okay. That's another issue. Somebody write down. This is something that you guys as an MSA, you need to be able to do effectively. Make contact with the people who are the tribal leaders and understand what tribes are the most influential. Let's look outside of the college campus. Okay, what are the different tribes as a religious organization that MSA is? What are the different tribes outside of Rutgers MSA? Okay, you've got the whole Al-Maghrib student body. Okay, anything else? Can we have a second one? Any other religious tribes or clubs or organizations or entities?
Al-Mishkat.
Okay, you got Al-Mishkat.
Bayana.
Okay, you got Bayna. What else? You got Masajid. Give me the top 2 Masajid in New Jersey. ICGC?
Masjid Tawheed.
Masjid Tawheed. Let's give me another one. Dar al-Islah. Okay, so right there you got. I mean Dar al-Islah among the Desis, right? So you got that. That's an ethnic. That's like an ethnic masjid right there, right? So you got ICPC, another Arab masjid, right? Masjid Tawheed, you got city dwellers. I mean it's mostly Arab. So right there you got tribal centers. Who are the leaders? Who are the people of influence within these masajid, within Al-Maghrib, within Bayna, within Al-Mishkat? Who are they? I mean, just because, I'm not talking about the person who's the president. I'm talking about the person that says, let's go to this rally, and everybody goes to this rally. Who are they? Can you guys name them off the top of your head? Because if you cannot, then you got to do some research. The reason you get maybe 50 to 100 people when you should be packing 700 people at an MSA event is because you haven't identified the tribes and you haven't made contact with those tribal leaders. What movie is breaking the box office right now? 2012. Great. You know how much money it's made? Over $200 million. This is before I went to see it yesterday. Okay, I was actually not planning on seeing it at all. But when I saw this 200 million people that have watched it all, I mean, $200 million, divide that by what, 10 bucks, 12 bucks, average ticket sales, that's a lot of people, right? I mean, that's like 20 million people that have seen the movie. I mean, if so many people have seen the movie, let's go check it out. That right there is an influential poll. I mean, it's just like, this is what people are talking about. Here's a question, what are the people talking about? Do you know, are you in there? Are you connected? Where are they talking? Who are they talking to? You guys are on Facebook, right? When you log into Facebook, what's the first thing you see? Notifications, okay? Do you see a feed of your friends and things, what they're doing and saying, right? Okay, so that right there is an excellent way to see what's happening, okay? When you go, I mean, how many of you actually been to twitter.com or go there occasionally? Okay, only 2 people still, even after people walked in. My advice to all of you is, I mean, Twitter is a search engine. It's like Google, but the content that's on there is generated by people like you and I. What are people like you and I talking about? Okay, these are things that we have to know. If we want to be people who are effective in getting out there and reaching the people, we have to strike a chord with them, commonalities. What is it that other people are talking about? Okay, get on Twitter, the first thing you see are the common words. What are they talking about? 2012 is one of them, right? Okay, what else are they talking about? When Kanye West got up on stage and did his thing with embarrassing that little girl from her award, okay, that was like the trending topic of discussion for that next week. Okay, God knows how many spoofs they came out with it. Even at Islamic events, people were getting up on stage and spoofing Kanye West because it was the thing to talk about. You know, people are talking about that, and when you do something, people will automatically get connected. That's why they're doing it at Islamic events. That's because people will get connected. If you really, really, really want to get out there, the stuff that you guys are doing, is it really worth talking about? Is it something that you will tell your friend because you're so excited about it and that it's so outrageous and so remarkable that they're going to tell all of their friends? Right? I mean, black man becomes president. That's something that goes around the whole world. Not just the fact that somebody became president, but a black man became president. That's something worth talking about, even till today. All right? The whole world gets destroyed in the movie. That's worth talking about. Okay? The fact that they decided not to destroy Mecca because they didn't want a fatwa on their head, that's worth talking about. That it's actually true. They were thinking about destroying Mecca, but they figured you didn't want a fatwa on their head. So, I mean, what is it that you could do that's worth talking about? I mean, have you guys ever done an event? When George Galloway came to Rutgers, was it Newark or New Brunswick? He came to Rutgers, Newark. Was that what was the element about that was worth talking about?
The situation in Gaza.
Okay, situation in Gaza. What about it makes it newsworthy? What about it makes it people that they want to tell other people?
People are suffering and dying.
Okay, so if you had Rizwan Ali come and talk about Gaza, what would be the difference between George Galloway and Rizwan Ali talking about it?
Just the name.
What?
Well, the name and the person.
Okay, what's attached to the name? What's worth talking about this name? What has this name done?
He's been banned from certain places, so that means that he's
Okay, so he holds an element of controversy, right? He's been banned. Okay, they've ousted him. They kicked him out. All right. What else? I mean, is banning the only element? It's definitely something that helps, right? You write a controversial book and Salman Rushdie, satanic verses, and all these other Islamic nations said that they want him dead. Right away, people are like, "Oh, I got to read this book." Okay. What else? Anything? What else is attached to this name, George Galloway? That.
his rants on BBC.
Okay, so he's on TV. He's speaking to people through a communication tool that people are tuned into. Television. Rizwan Ali, he hasn't been banned from any place yet. Okay, yet, and he hasn't gone on TV to talk about stuff. Okay, when Baba Ali comes and speaks to an event, a lot of people come. Why? Because he's spoken on Twitter. He's spoken on events. Right? He's gone on TV on Islam channel. So people have heard him through a communication tool that people are tuned into. Here's a question. What are the communication tools that people are tuned into today? One of them is... What?
Internet.
Okay, internet. Internet is such a vague term. It's like I'm going to go on the street and talk. Okay, where? Okay, YouTube was one. Great. Give me another one. Facebook. Okay, great. Twitter. Great. Give me another one. Live. MySpace. You got YouTube. How many different video sites are there that people frequent?
YouTube is the main one.
Okay, YouTube's definitely the main one. They have 80% of the viewer rate.
Metacafe.
Metacafe is another one. Great. What else?
Halal too for Muslims.
Halal tube for Muslims. I mean, it's become very popular. Shout out to Amir. Good job. Google Videos, another one. I mean, it's not as popular actually Google and YouTube because now they're it's owned by Google. It still counts as that. I mean, do you guys are you understanding what I'm trying to do here? On campus, what are the communication tools that people are tuned into? Flyers. Are they tuned into flyers?
They see him and...
Okay, they see them, but is that something that they will stop and listen to or take time out to look at? Okay, if it's I mean, I like this flyer. Good job, me. So I mean, this is something that you might look at, right? What else? Does the school have a newspaper? Yeah? How many people read it? No, I mean, I'm serious. How many people actually read it? Do you ever see somebody sitting down and looking through it?
Depends on the title.
Okay, it depends on the title. I mean, whenever you've seen somebody looking at the newspaper, what are they looking at?
Well, whenever the professor reviews come out, everybody grabs a newspaper.
Okay, great. So that right there is something that you may want to look into. How can you take a professor review and tie it with stuff that you guys are doing? Huh? That's a question to ask. I know in Montclair newspaper is very well read. People read the sports section because they like the stuff that's happening. People like to read what's happening in the arts because Montclair is really well known for its theater stuff. So would it make sense to include maybe an article in that area that's tied back to the stuff that the MSA is doing? Would that make sense? Yeah? Would it make sense to create something that's worth talking about that somebody writes about it? Back in the day, 2004, at my masjid, Samir, were you involved with the Mufti's crusade?
Yeah, I attended.
Okay, let's talk about how many of you know Mufti? All right, cool, a couple people. All right, a few people. Well, Mufti, back in 2004, he went to Jerusalem. He came back. We said, let's do an event. I said, let's call it the Mufti's crusade. Okay, we held it at the masjid. Right away, the administration of the masjid got scared. Okay, because it said crusade on there. So they decided, okay, we're going to take the flyer off the main board. We're going to put it in the glass cover where the most important stuff goes, and we're going to fold the top of the flyer so that people can't see where it says Mufti's Crusade. They'll just see Jerusalem. Okay, when people are walking by, they're looking at the thing that pay attention the most, and they see this thing that's different. Why did they fold over the flyer? Is that, I mean, right there is just something weird. Maybe there's something wrong with it. People start talking about it. Okay? Word gets around. People start making phone calls. What is this Mufti's Crusade? Okay? Is it about the Mufti of Jerusalem? Okay? Are they going to talk about jihad? Okay? I mean, this is for real. Newspaper comes in. They think it's worth talking about. They come in. They say, hey, listen, I'm from the Herald News. We want to cover your story. Okay? Now, all this stuff happened passively. Can you go out and seek the newspaper and tell the people, hey, listen, I've got a story for you. We're bringing Rizwan Ali. He's going to talk about Gaza. Is that something that would be worth talking about? Probably not. But if you will go to the newspaper, sorry, man. But if you went to the newspaper and you told them, hey, George Galloway is coming. He's going to talk about Gaza, and he's going to talk about, let's do something. What is that something? I don't know. Maybe you want to cover it, and cover the story. Is he going to talk about go out and fight? Who knows? Why do people talk about stuff? Does it affect them? Yes? No? When the shootings in Fort Hood happened, is it something that affects us? Right? Okay. So we end up talking about it. Correct? I mean, there's an impact. There's an element of impact on our lives. When gas prices go up, does it affect us? Of course it does, because it's money out of our pocket. When you want to make something that's worth talking about, try to ask yourself, how does it affect the people? Okay? How close is it in terms of their surroundings? Right? Who do you have to talk to? Who do you have to address that a lot of people listen to? Okay? What are the tools that people are tuned into? I'm asking you these questions, and I want you guys to be answering these questions. And I want you guys to think about these questions. Because if you want to get out there, you guys get your professional jobs. You guys want to make money. And if you can take what other people make and put it out there, you can make a lot of money. And the whole thing is, I mean, with Twitter, it's not, I mean, you get on Twitter and you start talking about stuff. It's not enough. You need to know what they're talking about. And how can you tie back what they're talking about to what you're talking about? How can you become a person of influence? By influencing those other individuals who are people of influence. This is an issue of leadership. Okay, that's what the whole conversation factor is. First, I want to start off with getting clarified. Does anybody have any questions so far? Questions whatsoever, anything you don't get about social media, about the concept of tribes and leadership, and about the whole thing of conversation and what people are talking about. Anybody, any questions? Yes?
How do you become an opinion leader on these social networking sites in terms of, I mean, you talk about what you want to talk about, but how do you actually influence people? Like, because you know, a lot of people say they write their own statuses and, you know, it's usually about themselves or something.
Okay, well, let's go back to the example with Samir. If Matt Damon said to Samir, Samir's a good guy, listen to what he has to say, would people start listening to what Samir has to say? Yeah? Okay, great. So right there is a strategy that you can take, is understanding, taking people who are already opinion leaders and getting them to endorse you, to talk about you. Again, this goes back to the newspapers example. People read the newspapers, and if you are covered and people write about you and stuff that you're doing, it may be good or bad, okay? But I recommend do good stuff, so this way people actually respect what you do. But the whole idea here is get other opinion leaders to talk about you. Get other venues where people are listening to talk about you. That's the best way to become an opinion leader. There are other ways. Do you have an idea? I mean, you're PR. I mean, do you...
I wanted you to mention a little bit more about engaging people in conversation on Twitter and Facebook, and how you can use that to benefit people.
You're totally right. Engaging people with conversation. This goes back to initially when I had these two gentlemen come up and the whole issue of guy and girl. It doesn't have to be guy and girl. I don't recommend doing guy and girl for Islamic reasons. But at the same time, is when you talk to people, the reason you talk is because the two of you know that you care about each other. So when you talk to people, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Facebook, or whether it's just you calling them up and making fun of each other, that making fun of each other is showing that you guys care, right? If you cannot get Matt Damon to talk about you, which probably most people cannot, okay, and you don't have easy access to newspapers and all these other big systems that people are tuned into, then take advantage of social media, okay, because you don't have to be anybody. So long as you show that you care and you start talking to individuals, people will come and surround around you, and you will be able to build your influence single-handedly. I mean, you got this guy named Gary Vaynerchuk. How many of you have heard his name? But he is he's an individual from New Jersey. He's been on Conan O'Brien. He's been on a bunch of places. He has his own TV show. He's on Hulu now. What does he talk about? He talks about wine, okay, alcohol. And he talks about it with such passion. And here's the thing. We live in a society where alcohol is a normal thing. And people want to know about the different types of alcohol. And so he addresses their issues. He addresses their concerns. He talks about, he's an expert on alcohol, and he talks about it. The thing is, let's take that to something that's more acceptable. Okay? When it comes to Baba Ali, he talked about issues that a lot of young guys, a lot of people that grew up in America, the UK, and Canada, the issues that they faced. And he talked about it. And he talked about it in a way that he cared. Nobody knew who this guy was, both Gary Vaynerchuk or Baba Ali. But through the use of social media and actively engaging individuals through conversation, he became something or someone to talk about. He became the conversation. Here's the question, how can you become the conversation? Any other questions?
Yeah, well, many people like talk about like the youth. Why has he become successful and others don't?
Well, how much do you care about the youth? It's not about talking about the youth. It's talking to the youth, talking with the youth, and showing that you care. So if you were to get on YouTube, if you were to get on Facebook and Twitter and start addressing these individuals, talking to them, messaging them, videos, okay? And if you were to care more about people genuinely from the inside, it'll show when you talk. Can you care more about them than the other individuals? If you can, people will come to you because genuinely it shows. Right? All right, let's move on. No more questions. If you have any questions, then write them down and I'll ask them in the end. Let's do the brainstorm. Okay? How many of you here are active MSA students? I mean, I'm not talking you just come to the events, but actually you're actively volunteering. Spending, 5 hours a week, maybe 10 hours a week. What? Nobody does. Okay, 2 hours a week. Okay, just one person, 2 people. Everybody else is just here for the food. I mean, what are you guys involved in? Actually, I'm going one by one. What are you involved in? What do you spend a lot of time on besides school and working? YM. Okay, great. What? MSA YM. YM. MSA. So, I didn't see your hands go up.
I don't know what else to say.
Schoolwork, that's about it.
Okay.
Finance, society, and a fraternity. Finance, society, and fraternity.
Finance, society, and a fraternity, right?
Soccer.
Awesome. Track. Football. ICPC. What? Community service. Okay.
I just do. I'm busy in school.
So just school.
And I go halaqah and stuff, but I'm not that involved.
Okay, so basically you spend most of your time learning but not doing much.
Yeah.
Okay. That explains why you're not on Facebook. I totally understand, because you're not, you're there, you're learning, and you're going to these halaqas, but the amount of time that you're spending socializing is very small. Am I correct? That's my assumption.
You mean like reaching out to more people?
Yeah, reaching out to people, taking them out instead of you being taken out?
No, I have like set friends like that. I don't like just.
Okay, so you have a few handful of friends that you stick with, correct? Okay, that makes sense. That's why you're probably not on Facebook. Okay.
School, work, and family.
Okay, school, work, and family. And anything outside of that?
No.
Okay. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. How active are you on Facebook?
Not that active.
Yeah, it's just my assumption. It's my assumption that people that don't spend a lot of time socializing with a lot of people are not on these social media platforms. Am I correct with you on that? Okay, cool. Okay, YM. School. Cricket. Okay, so is there a cricket club? I mean, a bunch of guys that you play cricket with?
There are guys, but there's not a cricket club here.
Okay. Is that something that you might want to start? Are you
I was thinking
considering
about
it?
it. I was thinking about it.
Oh, we're thinking about it. Okay, cool.
Study.
Study. Okay, I'm saying outside of school and work.
Cricket.
Okay, cool. Cricket, that's awesome. No, sports are great. I mean, besides school and work.
No, I got a job.
Okay, you have a job. Is there any kind of after hours type of stuff that you guys do, that you do with your coworkers? Nothing. Okay. Are you on Facebook? Again, my assumption is you're probably not that active on Facebook or any of these social media. Okay.
Pretty cool. And like I'm in some clubs. I'm an executive board of some clubs.
Okay, what clubs?
The biology society.
Biology study, okay.
Yeah, and just like I'm translating this work from Arabic into English.
Okay, cool. So you're actually quite active on it. I mean, it sounds like you're translating stuff.
Yeah, but it's for myself.
Okay, it's for yourself, okay. And the basic trend that I see happening here is that if you're not involved in something social, then you're not utilizing these tools that can go out and reach other people. Now the question, by a show of hands, how many of you actually want to be able to reach a lot of people? Okay. Do you feel that you can reach a lot of people continuing in this state of connecting with individuals as you are right now? No? Okay. How many of you understand and feel that you actually have to go and start interacting with individuals? Okay, cool. Now, I want to come up with 10 ways that you can do things differently.
Become the go-to person for a certain topic.
Okay. Become the go-to person for a certain topic. I'll say that as number one. I think that's something good. What are you good at? What do you have a passion for? What can you talk about for hours and hours and hours and hours? As you can see, I like social media marketing. I can talk about this forever, but I'm going to speak for another maybe 5 or 6 minutes. What do you like to talk about a lot? For you, what is the conversation?
Cars.
Okay, cars. Great. I mean, anybody else have something that you want to put?
Islam.
Okay, Islam. You want to be more specific. That's like saying I'm interested in people.
Spreading some, learning is spreading.
Okay, something more specific. Just spreading, amongst, maybe you want to pick a category, amongst whom? Who do you want to talk to?
This campus.
Okay, so you want to talk about spreading Islam on campus. That's more specific than just spreading Islam. I like to talk to people. There's something you guys like. You guys have hobbies, right? I hope you guys don't spend all your time studying and learning unless what you're studying is something that you really like to talk about. And then maybe that's a topic that you want to become an opinion leader in. Right? Okay. So what's another thing that you can do differently besides becoming the go-to person for a topic?
Generate controversy.
Okay, generate controversy.
I do it all the time.
That's something that definitely that you can do. I mean, think about maybe you want to give me some examples. How would you generate controversy?
Well, once Khorasan lost, I put on my status like no more Khorasan coming to our like Eid celebration. Got like 40 comments on stuff.
Okay, right there. The governor of New Jersey lost. Worth talking about. Okay, and you posted a message and you started a conversation about that, and people messaged it.
When you meet people, like make a connection with them, like so, like if you need them later on, you can always have someone to go to.
Okay. Can I adjust that? Basically, what the brother here said was to make a connection with individuals. All right. I would say, and this is something that definitely to do things differently. When you go to individuals, try to be genuinely more interested in them. You want to make the other person feel good. What can you say to them? Okay? What can you ask them? What can you learn about them?
You can like ask them about like what they do, like what's like, you know what you said, what are they studying, what are their hobbies?
What are they studying? Great. Get to know the individual, right? The more you know, the more you care, right? Okay, give me another thing that you can do differently. I mean, I'm talking. These are tactics and strategies that you can apply just to your own projects, whether it's MSA, YM, the business frats, and all that other stuff.
When you see different people's statuses on Facebook or Twitter, you reply them and you basically engage them in what they're doing.
Okay. Look at what other people are saying and respond to them. You see a status message, and you comment on that status message. Somebody said, 2012 sucked. Be like, no it didn't. I liked it a lot. Maybe we should go see it again together. Just a thought. Okay? On Twitter, somebody says something, simply respond to them. Say @. If you were Matt Damon, you said @Samir Hashmi on Twitter, and you said, bro, I disagree with you. Okay? I think we should do it this way. Right away, you're going to want to respond. Wouldn't you? Or would you just go crazy? Matt Damon said, okay, so you would respond. So, that's something that you want to definitely do. So what do we got going on here? Give me a fourth thing that we can do differently. How about making videos? Just, making videos. It could be skits. I hear MSAs are big on skits, right? Not this MSA? Okay. I hear YM is big on skits. Not anymore? Okay. So, maybe that's something you guys want to do, skits. Come up with situations that people are familiar with and act it out. And just put those things online. Everybody will have a laugh because how bad actors you guys are. But it'll be fun. It'll be worth putting out there. That's how I got started with my videos. Let me leave you guys at that. These are 5 things that you can do differently. Anyone want to say it back? Become the go-to person for your topic. Start caring for people. Engage them. Try to get to know more about them. Respond to their Facebook text messages and status updates and Twitter messages. And be controversial. But don't always be controversial. It's not always a good thing to be. Well, maybe it is, Who's somebody that's always controversial? Well, there you go. Everybody already knows him. So if you need someone to say something controversial, he's the go-to individual, right? Can you think of anybody that you know of that's controversial in media all the time? Glenn Beck.
Somebody that's controversial, would they actually be an opinion leader though?
Yeah, that's true. Being a controversial individual can lead to being an opinion leader, right? It's a possibility. But it's an element that one can use. These are 5 things that we can do differently. That's it. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك